call the meeting to order. We're going to deviate just a moment. Normally we recognize individuals or people from the public, but tonight I'm going to deviate just for a moment. I think all of you all know that a few weeks ago we had a very serious police incident that occurred out on 150 and Potter Shop Road that resulted in a high-speed chase and a number of police officers in pursuit, and had to track the suspect into the woods who was armed and shooting at the police officers. It was a very, very serious event, and one that could have resulted in injuries or death to not only police officers but also citizens that lived in the Spring Hill subdivision. And one of our own officers, Sergeant Jeremy Cawley, was one of the main officers who were in pursuit of the suspect and brought that incident to a very, to an ending that prevented loss of life to police officers as well as innocent citizens. And so tonight we're going to have a commendation for Sergeant Jeremy Cawley and his partner Ace, who's with him this evening. So we'd like to ask them to come in and make this presentation. Chief, I think you want to... Sorry. You have something you want to...
I'll read some.
Okay. I'll come in and help the able.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
If you'll bear with me, I'm going to read from the citation. Members of the Bardstown Police Department were involved in a critical incident the morning of 6/5 of 17. Several other agencies were involved in a long pursuit over an hour and a half from Louisville that culminated in an armed confrontation at KY 150 and Knowlton Potter Shop Road. The suspect had previously fired weapons at pursuing units, and our officers were aware that the suspect was well armed. The suspect then bailed, we call it bail. He left his vehicle and ran, firing at officers as he left the vehicle and ran into the woods near Indian Creek on the north side of Kentucky 150. Officers Monroe and Embry, who are sitting second row, the young guys in the second row, immediately set up a perimeter on the north side of the brush area to ensure that the suspect did not exit the brush and enter the neighborhood. Their initiative, professionalism, actions greatly assisted in keeping the incident bottled up near the road and not into a populated area. At the same time, Officer Jeremy Cawley arrived at the scene at Kentucky 150, and after speaking with officers involved in the pursuit, he deployed K-9 Ace, supported by officers and deputies from Nelson County Sheriff's Office. Sergeant Cawley and Ace were the only K-9 team in the area, and they let their training take over, with Ace quickly tracking the suspect where he was hiding in the brush near the creek. The suspect tried to push Ace aside when Sergeant Cawley recalled his partner. At that time, the suspect brought his assault rifle to bear on Sergeant Cawley, Ace, Sergeant Mike Clark from the NCSO, and another deputy, and the officers fired to protect themselves and others. Their actions quickly brought the incident to an end with no injuries to law enforcement. It is evident that Sergeant Cawley's actions with Ace were instrumental in the successful end to the incident. Had they not been there on the scene to locate the suspect had positioned himself to ambush officers as they searched on foot. We could have done it.
Sergeant Cawley and K-9 Officer Ace, got a commendation for their service. I read these for distinction, professionalism, and dedication to duty. During the critical incident that occurred on June 5, 2017, your actions saved law enforcement lives. So I'm going to present these two commendations for service to both you and Ace, and thank you on behalf of all the citizens of Bardstown and Nelson County for your service that evening and for your service every day for us. Thank you. Thank you so much. Would you like to say anything?
I guess I didn't expect to talk. He's done a lot of it. Thank my two guys here, Patrol. They did an amazing job that night. Clark with the Sheriff's Department Sergeant. Once Ace got out of the car, I kind of went to dog mode. He kind of took over. He had formulated a plan. I decided to give Ace one more shot down there. I sent him down there twice. I knew he was doing something. Third time was a charm. He found me. So if it wasn't for Ace, one of us probably wouldn't be here today. So it worked out the way it was supposed to. Thank you guys for everything.
Ready?
I did.
Thanks. Thank you both.
Thanks, officer.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks.
Okay, we're going to go back on our normal schedule. This is where we would normally ask if there's any input from the public. I know we have someone here that would like to address the council, so introduce yourself and then you can address the council.
Thank you, guys, for letting me share some time with you here. I'll be brief. My name's Robert Tyler. This is Betty. We just moved to Bardstown, Kentucky about 8 months ago. My concerns is the safety issues we have on our street. We live behind the Dairy Queen on McGowan. We're about 3/4 of the way down 199 McGowan. Guys, they use that street as a drag strip. I mean, you can go down there and sit. You don't even have to take my word for it. When you go down that street behind that Dairy Queen, you'll see skid marks burned out where they have done on motorcycles, cars. We've got children that live right across from us, the age of 3, 5, and 9. Then there's a couple next door that only got a 5 and a 7-year-old. But these kids are so frightened when these guys come down through there. When they pass in my house and not stop sign, they're riding. These guys are riding what I've always referred to as the sprocket rocket, which is a very fast motorcycle. I bet they're doing 80 when they come down through there. That's a 30-mile-per-hour speed limit. They wouldn't stand a chance when those kids was the dark out their way. Well, cars are doing the same thing. They're speeding down through there, and I don't know why they want to choose that area to spin their tires and do that, but it's very reckless. We're concerned about it. There's only one speed limit sign. I think it says 30 miles per hour. At the beginning, you don't even really see it. But the only solution that I know that would solve this problem, and solve it right, would be some speed bumps. You put that down there, that would stop that. And that's what I'm here tonight, is to see if we can get some people to support that idea and get some speed bumps on the gals.
Mr. Tyler?
Yes.
Your concerns were brought to our attention a few years ago, and we did at some point put a stop sign, but that obviously is not. I mean, that's why we put a stop sign on that, on those streets, for that very reason. So.
The stop sign's not what we said.
Yeah, I understand.
What's your address? What area?
199 McGowan. We're about 3/4 of the way down. We're north of the, I guess you could say, on that street.
You're almost at the end of that street, aren't you?
We're not at the very end, but we're 3/4 of the way down. 199 McGowan. And
Right north of Butler, across the street.
we're past that intersection on down to the right.
Yeah,
It's a little congested there too. I can't believe.
Well, it is, and it's just, with the young families that are around, we're retired. We just kind of come down to Bardstown 8 months ago. I worked in the area for 20 some odd years doing what I did. I was a contractor, but I said I've always wanted to live in Bardstown. But I have a little concerned about that street there. Love the area, the neighbors are great, and we like the area actually. Wasn't all that familiar with it, but the price was right. When you're retired, that's one of the things you look at. But I think there's something that I feel like if this doesn't get addressed, there's going to be an issue where we wish we had it addressed.
Well, thank you, Mr. Tyler. I think what I will do is share this information with Chief and see if we can step up some patrols too, just some of the speeders. And I'd have to talk with Public Works. I don't know that we have any speed bumps on any city streets in the city limits right now that I'm aware of. So
Coming from Louisville, I can tell you from the area, in the area that I lived in, that put a stop to it. And they had put a stop to it that year. I think you could probably, I'd hate to take the police force and give them extra time to go up and down the gallon when really all you need is some speed bumps. About 4 of them would solve the problem. Those guys would not be able to get up that speed, especially on those motorcycles. It's too dangerous for them to hit a speed bump at that kind of speed. But I think that would be the only solution. I really do. That's my opinion. But thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Chief, did you have something?
Yeah, we can put some extra up there. Of course, we're limited in personnel that we can't put there, but we can put extra up there. In Europe, they call the speed bump a sleeping policeman just for that fact. It does slow people down.
Yes, sir.
And I don't know the laws or the ordinances in the city of whether or not they would allow it, and we can research that also, sir.
Yeah, we'll take that as advisement. I think just the design of that street, being that long straightaway, just encourages that kind of, particularly you like to have streets designed with some curves and so forth, which prevents some of that. That's just really a long straightaway.
They did put, the county did put one in Maywood there.
But 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I don't know some others, but we'll take that under mind. Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
You're welcome. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for being patient during that other meeting. I hate to make you wait.
Oh, no, that's okay.
That
We
was
probably got here too early. We didn't know.
Yeah.
We was just told 6 o'clock, but we
Yeah.
probably should have been here. So.
Okay.
But thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Jordan. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
down under new business, we have the Tourism Commission budget, and Dawn Crystal is here, and she and I talked this afternoon that she's got something going on this evening and needs to get back to us. And Dawn, would you tell the council what a fan tour is? I know what one is, but that might help explain what you're doing tonight.
All right, well, Kurt, and I'm standing behind you, Jim. I'm not going to get in front of you this time. We have a fam tour is just a short, it's a familiarization tour. And today we have 14 tour operators from all over the country as part of a Going on Faith, which is a publication. Some of you may know Mac Lacey. He owns the Going on Faith magazine. It's a statewide fam tour. So we're kind of exposing these tour operators from all over the country to Bardstown. They're doing most of our religious sites, but we've also used my Abotiki Home and then the Civil War Museum and a couple of other things as well. So they're at Kurt's right now. I got them started with mint juleps and dinner, and I said I'm going to run down here and talk to you guys, and I'm going to go back and meet them at the Stephen Foster story tonight. So
Dawn, I would move her up.
I appreciate that.
Her budget, I don't know if you don't have time to look it over. Dawn, is there anything that you want to point out? I know salaries is a question that always comes up at budget time, so you might want to, I know you all got some personnel changes going on, you want to speak to that a minute?
Right. For the past probably 5 or 6 years, we have outsourced some of our public relations and some of our group sales to, we have a PR firm that we use, and then we did a staff share with the Stephen Foster story. I don't know if some of you knew Billy Bass when he was here. He worked for both of us. That allowed him to work for Billy. I worked for Johnny at the Stephen Foster story and for us here. Now that Billy's gone and we really we need to move that in-house. For what we're paying to outsource it for part-time basis, we can get someone in-house dedicated to our needs, and they're going to focus on group sales, social media, and help me with some of the public relations, some of the press releases and things like that. Pretty much tomorrow I finish my fam tour and I have an hour before I have a journalist come in for 2 days. So it's or for 2 nights. So it's kind of nice to have someone else to kind of break that up a little bit so they're not just talking to me all the time, as wonderful as I might. They might get a little tired of me. So that's our big change, is to adding that position. And I think I sent you all an email with the details about that. And you can see where we pulled some of those funds from contract labor and from public relations to funnel that in, for a good portion of that into the staff salaries.
And then what about raises for permanent employees? What was that for this year?
We have not received those ranges. They budgeted up to 4%, but we have not had our reviews yet. So that's will be up to the board's discretion after the budget. They budgeted up to 4% though.
And then you and I spoke earlier today. One question I had on the budget was under their community project and development fund, they've got $61,950 budgeted. That's, you want to explain what that is to the council members? And I want to talk
Those are tourism marketing incentive grants. They're available to nonprofit organizations, attractions, and events. Events, we usually focus that for a 3-year maximum for seed money, but for our attractions, that is, ongoing. Some of our largest recipients of those grants are the Stephen Foster Story, the Kentucky Railway Museum, Main Street, and the Civil War Museum. So, among various others as well. But those are for our nonprofit tourism attractions to kind of help them help support their marketing efforts. Or new exhibits, or, they can be used for 2 things: new exhibits, new part of an attraction, or for marketing their attraction. And we usually kind of budget that at 10% of what we budget for the restaurant tax. So you'll see that number increase every year.
Now, one thing I had, when I talked to you briefly this afternoon, was, I guess, on my wish list, in lieu of the almost $20,000 that's coming in on the restaurant taxes, quite a bit of that is coming from local people, obviously, not all from tourists. I'm just hopeful. I'm not here to say I want you to change the budget tonight. I'm not going to hold it up or suggest to hold it up. But I really wish you all would take a look at that amount of money and consider increasing it, because I think with the digital media ability today that, if you were to increase that by $10,000 or $20,000, that those organizations that get it, if they're getting $1,000 now, that if they got $2,000, that $1,000 used in a digital manner can really, really increase their exposure for their either whatever their product it is, their festivals or that kind of thing.
And I'd be happy to share with you, if we can take that into consideration, I'd be happy to share with you what the largest organizations are receiving, so you can see that they are receiving a substantial amount of funds, $10,000 to $20,000 for those larger attractions. And of course, Main Street's in addition to the extra $15,000 we do to make that a full-time position. But
do you know, have you ever in past years given more than $62,000?
no, this is the most we've ever given, as far as I know. We've had some special projects. I think we helped fund the restrooms of the farmers market, which may have bumped it up a little bit that year. But we kind of took that out of a different pot at that time. And I have a list of what each organization has received since 1988. We've given away over $1 million. We've invested over $1 million in those grants since 1988. So we have that by organization and by year, so you can see the trend. If you'd like that, I'll email that.
My wish list is we could step that up next year. In lieu of 10% of that total, I think more than 10% of that comes from people in Bardstown. I'd like to see more of it.
We'll see. But they also reap the rewards of money that we keep is money that we use for marketing that benefits everyone. So there's a balance there.
Yeah, and they too, with their marketing, that brings people into festivals and to see the shows and all that stuff.
So we're doing the bulk of the marketing for them all anyway, so yeah. But I will take that under advisement and share that with my financial affairs committee for next year in our budgeting process.
Okay. I don't want to control all the discussion here. I had a long run with the Stephen Foster Drama Association, so I've been...
And I think once you see what the kind of type of funds that they're receiving, you'll realize we're taking really good care of them. So.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying I'm really involved in tourism for a long time, so I kind of keep up with that.
Do y'all have any other questions?
I have one, if I may. On your payroll increase, and then you said you had mentioned you used a staff share with the Stephen Foster Story. So you're going to pull that person in-house.
Right, and that person that was shared has moved on to Chicago, so, there's not the opportunity to share there.
What happens to the Stephen Foster Story now?
Well, what we do with our PR person, we kind of, part of what we pay them is as kind of an adjunct PR person for 5 of our nonprofit attractions. So that person that I bring in-house will be able to help them even more with their press releases and public relations and wholesale media and their earned media.
So that the Stephen Foster store won't be burdened with hiring someone else in lieu of this person?
No, we're going to help. Part of the reason why we have that is to really assist them, and I can only be in one place at one time, so to help kind of support that. We host about 50 journalists a year, so this is to kind of give me support as far as that as the earned media goes as well. So it's group tours, earned media, and then social media as well. Joe?
How long's been Main Street been getting $15,000?
That's a really good question. Let me think. When Ann was here, so maybe, when did the street tape happen, Mayor? So since 2010, we've increased it. We've always given $5,000, so the city gave $5,000, the mayor, tourism gave $5,000, and fiscal court gave $5,000. At that time, tourism recognized that we really needed to have a full-time person downtown, so we kind of stepped up to the plate and said, if the city and the county can't help support anymore, we'll do so, and we added that additional $10,000 to make that a full-time position. And then they also receive anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 in grants a year for their events.
And that was all really back in 2000 when that Renaissance program came in. That's when tourism and the city and the county all put up $5,000.
Right.
Half of that position.
And I think at that point, the tourism had the arts and crafts fair under our umbrella, and we said, it's really a downtown event, so here you go, here are the revenues from that to help you support your organization. So
my wish list is like the mayor, I'd like to see them get 10 or 20% more.
well,
They work very hard.
they do, and I think Lisanna will tell you that we're very supportive of all of her efforts, and I think as she moves forward with her plans, there'll be opportunities for everyone in the community to support her a little bit more as well. So.
Okay, any other questions or comments on the budget? We do need to have a motion to approve this budget. If there's no other questions, I would ask for a motion to approve the 2017-2018 Bardstown Nelson County Tourist Commission budget.
So,
A motion by Councilman Shekels.
and I'll second that, and we'll put in the $929,500. Is that correct?
Seconded by Council Williams. The motion would be for the budget of $929,500. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Motion carried. Thank you, Don.
Thank you. Go back and grab my crew, my little ducks in a row.
Thank you. Okay, number 3 on the list is the HVAC bids for the Kobeck building. Greg, you want to talk us through that?
Yes, sir, thank you, Mayor. We did receive 2 bids to replace the HVAC system in the Kobeck building. One was from Brown Heating and Air for $183,682, and the other one was from Johnson Controls for $121,895,000. And of course, we're going to recommend that the City Council approve the $121,895.66 with Johnson Controls.
And that is in the budget for the Kobeck building.
Yes, sir, it is.
Along with the ramp.
Along with the ramp, yes, sir.
So, but I think we do need to approve the budget or have a motion to do so, and there's any discussion.
Mayor, I'd like some, go ahead.
We have to approve the bid,
Yes, sir, you have to approve the bid.
so I need a motion to approve, and then we'll have open for discussion.
Oh, you weren't making a motion, you're asking a question? Okay. All right. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the bid from Johnson's Control for $121,895 to replace the HVAC system at the Kobeck building. And I yield the floor for a second.
Okay, we have a motion with Councilman Williams. Have a second.
Second.
Have a second with Councilman Buckman. Any discussion?
I just had a question. Did you think, Greg, why there was such a large disparity in the prices?
Yes, sir. The Johnson Controls makes their own equipment. They make their own air conditioner with the brand name York. So they can afford to charge cheaper prices than, say, Brown Heating and Air that have to buy it from other companies. Brown Heating and Air also has to, when they buy their HVAC systems, to include the warranty, they have to replace at least one of the pumps. And those two pumps at the Quebec right now are pretty much brand new, and they don't really need replacing, but the warranty says you have to do at least one. Johnson Controls doesn't have to do that because they're supplying their own warranty. So it makes it quite a bit cheaper.
And I think this is just replacing one of two that we have down there, or
It's
fixing one of two.
They're going to take, so we have two 50-ton air compressors outside and the chiller barrel is inside. The unit they're replacing with is all one compact unit that'll be outside. The chiller barrel and the 120-ton system will be outside as one compacted unit.
So it's a 120-ton system rather
I
than
think it says
250?
120-ton system. It's either 100 or 120 system. We have 100 in there now.
250s, I guess.
It's 250s. Yes.
So those two units will actually be
They're going to
discarded and
take
then
that whole system
that
out.
new system
put
does it
the whole
all.
new system in. Now, that's just the outside. All the air handlers and everything inside are in good shape and they don't need to be replaced. That's just the chiller and the compressors, and then they're going to put the new, I forget what it's called, I got it wrote down, I knew I'd forget. The R410A refrigerant. You know, it's got the old R22, which has been phased out, and it's like up to $60 a gallon or even higher. And the R410A is pennies compared, and it's thousands of dollars of refrigerant if you use the R22, which you can't even hardly get in.
So if the chiller barrel system is going to be moved to the outside along with the compressor units into one package, is the pricing included also for the mechanicals in between? I know you have to change a lot of piping for the circulation pumps.
It'll just be the piping from outside to inside. And the circulation, it'll tie into the existing circulation now.
So that's
Yes.
included in this bid?
Yes, sir, it is. That's a lock and key.
Right.
Any other discussion? We have a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Greg. Okay, Barbara, you want to talk about the Main Street closing?
This is presented by the Santa. She's on board in case anyone should
Oh,
have
I'm
any
sorry.
questions. That's fine.
I wonder why y'all were still here.
Things in regard to her, so she can.
Yeah, Lisa,
answer
you
your
want to talk to these two street closings you all
Sure,
requested?
absolutely. The first one will be for our Farm to Table event, which is coming up on June 24th. We're basically requesting a street closure on East Flagey from North 3rd to 2nd. In addition to that, we've already have a rental agreement with the city for utilizing the Farmers Market Pavilion. And we have asked also to request after the farmer's market is over and even after the bank closes right around 12:30 to close off that entire area, even the parking lot surrounding the farmer's market. And the reason why we ask that is because we will have a 48-foot Cisco refrigerated truck in addition to other wagons that we'll have for the actual dinner that evening. The dinner will take place from 6 to 9 p.m. So we are hoping that, you know, about 10 o'clock we'll be able to kind of wrap things up and everything will kind of go as planned. We've already talked to Public Works to get barricades and everything in place. Again, we've already talked to Mary to rent the Farmers Market Pavilion. So it's just a matter of getting down there and getting things set up and squared away after the farmer's market is over that day. That's the first one.
And I don't know how this happened, but I see your letter was addressed in April. I don't know.
Yes, it's okay. I waited, yeah, because I had talked to Barbie about it and just wanted to kind of set up the right time to be able to get it in.
We waited a little over a week. It's about time to get this done for you. This is a new event.
This is a new event. Just to kind of give you all an idea, we are working, it's all locally sourced food from farmers throughout the community. Cocktail hour will be from 6 to 7. We'll have local farmers on site actually educating people and talking to people about eating local and eating better. And we'll also, McIntyre Winery will be there. In addition, they're providing wine for that evening. We'll have a bartender as well with a few selections, and it'll be a cash bar. We'll have local artist John Walker available there. He will also be painting a watercolor scene of the farm to table dinner actually taking place. And then we'll have live entertainment, a photo booth area where you can get unlimited 4x6 prints and just kind of make it a fun evening. And this is actually presented by Chef Tom from the Old Talbot Tavern, so we're thrilled to be able to work with them, to be able to offer this to the community. It'll be one long continuous table so that everybody feels like they can sit with their friends or family, and the dinner will be served from 7 to 9. It is a 7-course meal, and we will be letting everyone or all the guests attending what's locally sourced and provided by the community.
Sounds like a very fun event.
It is, yes, just to let you know, in case anybody would like to come. Yeah, tickets are available on our website and Eventbrite if you look for Bardstown Main Street Farm to Table, and then you can also purchase them at the Old Courthouse as well.
Rain or shine?
Well, we have a plan B, let's just put it that way. Under the pavilion, so.
The table is supposed to be all East Flagey.
Yes, the table was supposed to be on the actual street, so.
Sounds like a wonderful event. Okay, we need a motion then to approve the street closures.
Mayor, I don't know if I need to recuse from this night, but I'm really not sure how everything wrong, other than I know our chef's been out there, but it was a problem.
Just to be safe.
Yeah, I'll step out.
So this is a request to close East Flagey, one block section from East Flagey to 2nd Street, I guess, on June the 24th, starting at 12:30 to 10:30. A motion to approve the request.
So moved.
A motion by Councilman Buckland, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Copeland. Any discussion?
One thing I'd like to clarify or ask, since you are going to be serving wine and have a bartender, does that require any kind of a special permit, or is that something?
I've already.
Okay, I didn't see it in the letter. That's
Sorry,
the reason I was
yes,
asking.
that was just approved, I just got the approval in last week, so.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Bryant, we're ready. It's done. Okay, we have, any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
I got a question, procedural question. Like, in that situation, like with John, even though they own the tavern, I'd be interested in that. Can you not just abstain?
Well, that's the same as a vote, yes, but if you
Yeah, if he
recuse,
stays, if he refuses, it's not counted. If he stays and abstains, it's counted to the majority. So if it got to where it was close, call,
You vote the majority.
I guess it's cleaner just to recuse.
cleaner this way.
And then, Lisa, Annie, you've got another request for July 8th for the street concert?
Yes, I promise this is the last
No,
one.
that's all right. We're glad you all are entertaining me.
The street concert will take place this year, of course, on July the 8th. From 7 to 11:30 p.m. We are asking and requesting, of course, North 3rd, first 2 blocks of North 3rd Street to be shut down starting, actually this year we're requesting 2 extra hours. Before it's usually 2 p.m., this year we're actually requesting 12 p.m. And the reason why we are requesting that is because it is very difficult for the stage production crew to come in, get the stage up, and get everything ready by sound check by 5:30. They struggle. So that's why they have always asked us to request additional time for them to be able to do that, and that's why we're presenting it this year at 12 noon. We're also requesting that East and West Flagey to 2nd. Really basically it usually goes to the alleyways. It doesn't go any further than that, but we go ahead and request that additional space on East and West Flagey as well.
The only issue that comes into play is on East Flagey, the farmer's market will still be open at 12.
Right.
So it can only go to
the alleyway, yeah. So we'll have, and we already have traffic control set up to have a designated person at each one of those barricades to make sure that everybody is abiding by it.
All merchants fine with this?
They are, we shared this with them in our promotion meeting, which of course was this past which they know leading up to it. We kind of address it and bring it up in our upcoming events for several months. So they kind of know that. We provide every merchant downtown a map, so they know specifically what's going on. They know what time the street's closing down. We keep open lines of communication, so definitely we address that with them, because we know that takes away too once the street shuts down for people to be able to come in.
Okay. I would ask for a motion then to approve this street closing for request by Main Street for July 8th for the annual Urban City Street Concert.
So moved, Mayor.
We have a motion by Councilman Williams. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Kelly. Is there any discussion?
One question for Tim. I'm playing in one of these groups, so I'm actually part of, I'm part of the promotion, so should I recuse myself from the
Too late.
Okay, it's too late.
You can abstain.
I withdraw my motion.
I can all abstain.
There you go.
I thought I should mention it.
It is.
Well, I guess I should have said something too, but I didn't.
It is a reunion performance by Southern Natives. Anybody remembers the 70s and 80s. So,
Is it for, are you getting paid?
I don't think so.
They haven't told me.
Probably, but I always don't get right. Probably.
Let me withdraw my motion.
Yeah.
I withdraw my motion.
okay.
I can still abstain, right?
But if he withdraws the motion, then you can step out and recuse,
Well,
and then we can recommend.
the thing about stepping out is prior to all the discussion. That's when you should step out of the room. If you've listened to everything and then made a decision not to vote, it's too late. You'll just need to abstain.
But I think, you can step out. I don't see a problem
You're
stepping
getting
out.
paid.
I mean, he didn't participate in the discussion or take any action, so.
Other than let us know.
So if he stays in, he's gonna take action.
The motion's been withdrawn.
All right.
You can recuse yourself. I hope we get through the rest of this budget easy. We get through these closings.
All right. I'll make a motion. Same motion I made before.
A motion then to
To accept their proposal.
To
To close the street.
Main Street, for the Urban City Street Concert, which will be the 2 blocks of North 3rd and half a block on East and West Flagey, from 12 o'clock to 1 a.m. on that date, July 8th. Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
A second by Councilman Kelly. Is there any discussion? Any more discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is passed. Thank you, Lisa.
Thanks.
This Church of God.
Well, it's the restrictions in the motion, and we'll just have
That passed, by the way.
discussion.
So I still have a job on July 8th.
Rock and roll.
Okay. Yeah, we've got 2 requests for fireworks permits, and I'm going to separate these because there's one you may have to put a contingency to it or a restriction. The first one is by the Bardstown Church of God for June 22nd through July 5th for a permit for fireworks sales and display. Their location is 726 North 3rd Street, which is currently a construction site where the old Bardstown Laundry was located. So, in talking to the owners of the property, they have advised the Church of God people that the construction may prohibit this from being able to be done. So, we can approve it, but I think we would put the contingency that subject to construction project miraculously moving forward in a 2-week period or less to be able to be, to say so. Or we can vote not to approve it for that very reason.
Well, contingent on the owners who.
Proper consent.
Yeah, consent.
They have made the guy aware from the Church of God that it's probably not going to be doable. So we can put that contingency on it that's subject to the owner
Consent is.
consent, which I don't think would happen because of the amount of construction and materials that are on that, what would have normally been the vacant lot.
It's kind of implicit in all of these, but in this one, it should be explicit.
And then there's a second.
Having a sales area on the active construction site has got to be in violation of some type of OSHA requirements and things for having a safe site.
Well, that's where the fire department comes into play, and he and I had a conversation today that if this is approved tonight with the contingency, then on the 26th, he'll be there. Todd Spalding will be on site.
22nd.
Or the 22nd, excuse me. Right. Well, they say the 22nd, but permission is, where is it? Sorry.
22nd to July.
The owner would have to be anxious about public access to that ongoing construction, so they'd have to segregate it at the very least.
Seems like it'd be a
I don't know whether it might just be better just not to approve it
That's what I said.
at this point.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't think we have to worry about whether they comply with every other law. They have to comply. We may have contingencies
Once
that
again,
may comply with all laws, and because that's a big lot, I don't know if they can put it over one side and be all right, or,
It's not much done, it's
There's
pretty
not
used up right
much
now.
lot left.
yeah.
Fill and a construction trailer and pipes. and,
Equipment, dirt.
Yeah,
Do they have an alternate location?
no, not in this request. I mean,
Not on this one. They have a second request on this Bardstown Church of God for another location, but this is their second
So, I
location.
mean, we don't have to approve this. If we think, well, we need a motion and then some discussion.
So if we approve it, is it contingent upon Todd to make that decision, that assessment, if it's safe for them to use on the 22nd?
Yes. And Logan Spalding as well. He's the building inspector.
Yeah, Logan's going to handle all that.
So-
I'll take a stab on this. I move that we approve the Bardstown Church of God fireworks permit as presented here for June 22nd through 2017 to July 5th, 2017, contingent on permission, getting permission of the owner to use it, contingent on applying with all rules and regulations that may apply to this location and this business, and contingent upon the fire department approving the activity and with the other contingencies that are on the permit.
I'll second.
Motion and second. Any more discussion? Okay. All in favor then signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
That's for that location.
That's that one. The
Yeah.
second one we have is from also the Bardstown Church of God for a different location, which is 1235 Springfield Road. I think that's at Walmart.
Now it's in between David Wheatley's
Oh, yeah.
and that Active Day.
Active Day,
That lot
right.
right there, yes, sir.
There was another one I think I saw.
And there's one more.
I'm sorry. Okay, so this one is from the Church of God at 1235, vacant lot between David Whitley's home across from Marvin Downs Lane and Active Day. I think it's been there before.
Yes, sir, last year.
So this would be also for June 22nd through July 5th. Do I have a motion for
June
approval?
23rd?
This says June 22nd through
We don't
July.
have it on our, we don't have it on our.
It's the second, if you
It's
go
the
go back to Church of God and scroll down to the,
Scroll down.
scroll on down.
There were two for the Bardstown Church of God.
Okay.
All right, so we have a motion to approve this second request for Bardstown Church of God.
So move.
Motion by Councilman Kelly, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Butler. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion's carried. And then,
Freedom Praise. And we close out of this one. And we'll go into Freedom Praise
okay.
Ministry.
Then the next one is for Freedom Praise Ministries from Melissa Riley. This one's for June 23rd through July 5th at the Walmart parking lot. Have a motion then to approve this request for Freedom Praise Ministries for fireworks sales and display at the Walmart parking lot.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Williams, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Copeland. Any other discussion? in favor, then signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, review of our minutes, the regular meeting, May 23rd. It's in your iPad. Are there any corrections or additions?
I move approval of May 23rd, 2017, Bardstown City Council minutes.
Motion by Councilman Kelly. Do I have a second?
Second.
Councilman Dones, you've been quiet tonight. I'll give that one to you.
I think I had it.
All right. Councilman Dones, all right, second. Any discussion on the minutes from May 23rd or any additions or corrections? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. And then the next one is the working session from last week, June the 6th.
By acclamation.
Do that? Yeah, okay. All right, thank you. All right. We had, I'm going to skip over going back to the budget just for a second, go ahead and get to the safety committee, the reports from staff and committees. Safety committee meeting was on June 8th. Is there any report out you want to do, or just let the minutes speak for themselves?
We just had two little things on the minutes there. One was discussion fire chief. The ordinance requires that any open burning that they get, just very simple, so they have to get the approval of the fire chief. He wanted to have more of a formal process, to have a permit or application and permit, and the committee just basically decided that that's within his prerogative to do that, because it's his approval, and he wanted to put some reasonable conditions on getting his approval or some sort of process that he could do that. Second one was a request from Bardstown Gun Company. They're going to have an event to shoot tennis balls or something out of some sort of firearm thing. And they needed since that was potentially a firearm or covered by no discharge of certain things within the city limits, projectiles or something. It may not be under our ordinance or covered by that, but there's a provision to give a permit for special events. And we figured it would just be safe going and give the permit, and then they won't have to get in this argument whether it's covered by the ordinance as even slingshots are prohibited by the ordinance. I don't know if we have machine pitch baseballs in city limits or not, so I don't know what about that. But I don't know, Chief, you have anything else to add on that?
Sir, it's non-lethal.
And I don't know if that's, something the city council needs to take up. Is it October that's coming up?
October, yes, sir.
So we can put it on the agenda then, I guess, rather than bring it up tonight so everybody has a notice on it. And then we had some comments that are in the minutes, and that's about it.
And there is a new, the fire chief has done a draft permit, and I've reviewed it, and looks like it's a go, so it's ready to go. He's implementing that immediately.
Okay. All right, then we have cemetery deeds. We have, can I get that by acclamation? I have two for Sue and Larry Lyle, one grave site for Marilyn Jones, one for Teresa Day, and one for Billy Gilkey. Get that by acclamation. And then as far as announcements, we have Police Officer Andrew Riley is being recognized for 10-year anniversary with our department. So I want to congratulate and thank Andrew for his 10 years of service to our department. And so if you see him, let him know your appreciation. Yeah. Okay, now we'll go back up to 7, which is the financial report, which is a continuation of our proposed budget. And Jessica, I apologize. Barbie was trying to push me to get in the garbage. I thought
I could have been done in 5 minutes.
But there are a couple more things I might say, but I apologize. I know it was just that late, I might have allowed a filibuster to get you through it. I owe you one.
I'll remember that.
So we've got garbage. I know there has been a major drop in that line 5320, which is Office of Technical Supplies, and that's, you might talk about we don't have as many dumpsters to buy this year. We went to the front load. Oh, I'm sorry, page 26 and 41.
Yes, yes, it was maybe 2 years ago, we initiated changing over a lot of dumpsters to a front load. We purchased a front load dumpster, garbage truck to try to alleviate workman's comp and make the job safer for our employees and to be more efficient. And we basically were anticipating being able to change over more this past year. And we realized that about all the locations that we could switch over to the new style, we kind of had. So we had overestimated, and therefore, moving forward in this coming year budget, we didn't see a need to have that high amount again. So it looks more like maybe similar to what we had in previous years. We're just O&M, maintenance change out, and the replacing of that sort of thing.
And I think Paul Johnson transferring from there possibly over to Phillips, so that might help with the wages, possibly.
If the groundskeeper is approved, he would like to have that position. He's been helping Philip anyways.
He's currently in garbage, correct?
He's in garbage, but he bounces back and forth.
And he may, if we approve that request, he'll be going to garbage, and of course he'll be replaced. Someone with lesser years, so that will help on the salaries for garbage.
May I have a question?
Sure.
Can any of our garbage trucks be retrofitted to be a plow truck,
We have a plow truck.
like for snow?
They probably can, they do it in Louisville, I think, in New York, Chicago. Didn't need them last year, though.
No, that's true.
It's been a couple years since we've needed that many. If we had enough plows to put on and a place to store the plows.
But one problem at a time.
Sure, anything's possible.
I see them in the same places I see them, New
Yes.
York, Chicago, places like that.
Milwaukee? Yeah.
Okay, any other questions of Jessica on the garbage part of the budget?
Can I ask a question? Our street cleaner, where does that fall? Under what department, where does that fall?
Street sweeper?
Yeah.
I think the street sweeper falls under street.
Street.
Now, but the limb, grapple truck, the chipper truck, the leaf truck, that all falls under solid waste.
Good.
Is it, and then what's the schedule for that truck? Has it been changed some, I think in the last year, did it get changed how many times a week it was running, the street sweeper?
Yes, I'll be honest, Ben is the one who schedules the sweeping and so forth. I think we're still sweeping around 3 times a week. Certain times of the year we sweep less, obviously, depending when there's a lot of leaf foliage, in the fall we generally postpone sweeping because there's only piles of leaves and we really can't get to them. And also we don't really do that much in the winter, depending on how wet it is, if there's snow and stuff. But some of it's been staffing, depending on when people have been out in training. But it's my understanding it's about 3 times a week.
Okay, and then, I think Councilman Buckland, you asked a question last week. If you go to page 34, you were asking about where the land acquisition fund was, and we're starting the year, where we're going to be at the end of the year if we approve the 2 major expenditures. Start the year with $404,000, and we've got 2 expenditures of $348,000. we'll be finishing with 56,000. And then Tracy, you might want to talk a little bit to that, how we would start paying back into that fund to get it back up.
The street uses, the parking lot that Jessica has proposed is estimated at 150, so each department is paying 15,000 apiece, other than police and rec, whoever's not over there. The land acquisition fund is only for the general fund's use. So, street is borrowing 60 next year, admin, finance, street, and garbage isn't in the general fund.
I think it's recreation.
No, rec wouldn't pay for it either. Street, finance, fire, and admin will all pay 15,000 apiece, whether we do it all next year or we
I think recreation was using some of that money.
Yeah, rec is using it, so they'll start to pay it back, starting next year at we'll put like a payment schedule for them. The rec department's in the loss anyway, so I understand that they don't have the money to pay it back, but you have to show where they pay it back, and then they rely on the general fund as a whole to help. So you have to look at the big picture.
So we just try to keep that at $500,000.
Right. Because it's only for the general fund, and it's only for land and building repairs. You could always raise it if you'd like, but you would have to have each department put so much in every year.
Any other questions on that, Joe? And then I think you and I discussed that our unrestricted reserve account is going to probably finish this fiscal year at a little over $7 million.
That's correct.
And at this point, I think we've only got earmarked, well, not only, but 3.3 million possibly to be used from that for that major sewer project and some other capital projects, but it wouldn't have to come out of that if we decide, once we get that sewer project complete, we can go to permanent financing through a KIA loan and replenish that back. But I think historically, a balance of somewhere between 4 and 6 million has been more of the historic balance of that unrestricted reserves. On average, we've gone from as high as 11 down to 4, but I think now it's improved quite a bit through the use of some KIA funding for some capital projects. So I think we're in good shape in that regard. Have funds available for those capital projects for the utility department.
Yeah, because electric isn't even, the capital projects that electric is doing this year isn't even touching the reserves, and normally they have to borrow. So the fact that they use when they're operating is a big deal.
It's coming out of revenue, and that's quite a bit of expenditure, particularly on that substation.
Right.
If you want to apply for the KIA loans for the sewer projects and such, is there a time limit on that, or is there?
No, generally, in the past, we've initiated that loan application process. Once you have your preliminary engineering design, which is where you develop your preliminary construction expenses anticipated with that. So that way, when you fill out those loan applications, you kind of have, it works best if you have a little bit better handle on what your overall capital expenditures are going to be, so that you don't have to come back and ask for more, or it was way too high, you know, we're going to break this up in maybe 2 projects. So I anticipate that once we get starting into that design process, we will start initiating those conversations with those lending agencies to see what type of loan monies are available, what interest rate, and hope to try to get into some of those Fund B loans again, which have a little less strings, you know, attached often than with some of the other SRF monies. And there could be some potential, again, depending on what the economic development is, moving forward in this coming year, but for us to apply for some economic development money that is generally received as grants. But again, I don't want to, those have kind of been a little more sketchy, or a little less, there's been less of those funds available, I would say it that way, in recent years. But the word I'm getting from the ad and from the KIA office is that this type of project, based on our economic growth that we're seeing, could be a good project that we might be a good candidate for some of that money to come into Bardstown and use for that. I don't think that they generally, in recent years, have been allocating full amount, but it could certainly be, up to $1 million that we may not have to take out a loan against. But again, the cards, I don't want to promise on that, because again, those are things beyond my control. But I certainly want to put it out there that we will be trying to look for those funding avenues as we move forward with that design process.
Is there any detrimental effect of applying for the loan and not taking it? In other words, if we were approved for it and we decided not to use it, is there any credit issue or detrimental effect of where they would affect us in the future? Maybe.
Generally, we would probably want to make sure that we are definitely moving forward and are going to use it before we finalized it. Generally, there's been times I think that I've been told that other communities have had to pass because they had certain matching money or that they didn't have enough money to put up to bridge, and they had to put projects on hold, until the full loan was able to be approved. Maybe the KIA only had $2 million, to lend to that community at that time, but maybe they needed 2.2, maybe 200,000. Well, the community just didn't have the money, so they had to put the whole thing on hold and wait to that next funding cycle. They didn't lose it, but they had to. There was a hold time that they kind of. And the KIA is always looking at those things. What projects are going to kick off? When do we think this is actually going to be built? Are you having to wait for easements, or are you having to wait on some other funding mechanism or some other grant to come through before you can move? And we've been blessed so far that we have enough money in some of our reserves that we're able to move forward and get design going and pay those out and pay the consultants and keep the project moving without having to kind of hit that stalemate for some of our larger projects. And then we will just apply for reimbursement upon once the loan gets executed and all those things.
Which is what we did with the water.
Yes, that's what
We had
we
already
did with water.
started on it, and then the council asked us to look at a KIA loan. And so, because we
There's
have. No, but it took about, it was a 9-month process just
Yes.
going through the application. So if you just waste their time next time, they might just say no thanks.
That's what I was saying.
Right.
Waste
You
your time.
try not to do that.
Yeah.
You try to. It is a time-consuming process for all staff. For KIA staff, for Division of Water staff to go through that process for our staff. So.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions on the budget? Of course, we have to do a first and second reading on the budget, assuming we're pretty well finished with most of the work and questions on it. So June 27th would be the Tuesday for our regular, last meeting of this month.
What was that date again, please?
June 27th.
Okay.
And then I'm going to suggest, if Tracy approves this, that we'd like to have a first reading. This doesn't require, a lot of work on our part, to be held on June 26th. Would that be okay to do like a noontime meeting, just to do the first reading on the 26th, and then the second reading would be on the 27th at our regular council meeting? Would that work for most of you guys and gals?
You say noon?
Noon? I mean, it probably won't take us 10 minutes. It'll be a special call meeting just for that.
And I can get it published by the 30th.
Okay. All right.
You can have the first reading on the 27th and the second reading on the 28th.
No, I was going to do the 26th being a Monday, and the second reading on Tuesday at our regular meeting on the 27th. That gives Barbie time to get it published by the 30th, which is required. Otherwise, we'd have to call a special meeting sooner, but I want to give Tracy and I time to get all this, and then we want to give David time on that question on some of that equipment, and get back to us on that as well. And then, so does that fit most of y'all's schedule, you think? Lunchtime, and we won't be here that long, and then Tracy,
Just can't make any changes.
Well, we might make a few.
On the first reading?
No.
I'm sorry, between first and second reading,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I want to give you time. You've got,
A lot of,
you
yeah.
got 2 weeks.
2 weeks to clean it up,
Yeah.
if anyone wants to stop by and have any questions, one-on-one, I'll be there too.
And then July, our normal first meeting of the month is on the 4th of July. And due to a lack of interest, I don't think we're going to have a meeting on that day. So I think after we've gotten the budget passed, at the end of this month, I don't foresee a lot being on it. So I would just say we cancel that first meeting in the month of July. I think the other 2 meetings will be adequate to handle the business that we have, so.
I'll put that in the form of a motion if you want.
All right, we have a motion to cancel the first meeting in the month, July 4th. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Kelly.
Officially take it out.
Every one of
I
you's
think
got conflict of
everybody's
interest
in
on
favor of
this
this.
one.
All right, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right, well, I want to thank everybody for the work. We've gotten through this really in a pretty reasonable amount of time. Again, I apologize, Jessica, for holding that garbage thing out on you. But appreciate the time that you all put into it. Certainly want to appreciate the amount of time that Tracy has put in on this. She has done an extraordinary amount of work, and all the staff, because they've all been meeting with her, and they've all been meeting with Tracy and I. So we've gotten a lot of time and effort put into this. So it hasn't been haphazardly put together, or it's done just in a matter of just a few days. So it's taken a lot of work. So that's it. I entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Motion for Councilman Williams, second. Councilman Kelly. All in favor, say aye. Opposed?